let's understand that there is an active time and there is a passive time, and according to your biorhythm, if you are a morning person or you are a night owl, let's understand what activities we can do during that time. If I am a morning person, I have to do the cognitive activities like learning, memorizing, problem solving, mental maths, and revising for the tests in the morning time. If I am a night person, the same activity should be done during the night time. Maximizing your output and managing time effectively by doing the activities which are most important in your productive time. So if you are a morning person, do all the important tasks which you think that are more difficult in the morning, or push it to the evening if you are an evening or a night person. And there may be certain manual jobs like, cleaning and mopping and maybe organizing your desk if you are in the corporate. Such manual jobs can be done even in the semi-active stage, because when you are physically active, you don't need a push. You're not doing something very complicated. You're just trying to arrange your desk or your home, and it's a physical activity. You will be able to do it in a lesser active state also. But during the productive phase, you must do something like, maybe if you are giving a tally in an accounts department, or you are trying to enter the marks of, suppose you're a lecturer, you're trying to enter the marks of students, or some very important data to be written, something which are of very vital importance, please push it to the active time of yours, and the semi-active time, try to do something which are lesser effort putting. If it is manual, it is ideal. Somewhere where you have to move and find out something, go from one place to another place. These times, even if you take a short nap in the bus, it's not going to matter. So try to push the manual movement related jobs to the lesser active state. And the totally inactive state, you and me know, the lethargic state, I think that time you can push all these unproductive things of browsing the net or chatting with your friends or talking over telephone, but that should be very minimum. When that becomes maximum, again remember the jet lag phenomenon. So when you're not at all active, you can go in for some other form of entertainment or do something that are not really important. But definitely you must keep track that there is a timeline operating on you which is irreversible. The next day needs to be productive. So manage this active cycle and passive cycle and semi-active cycle and absolutely, maybe rest cycle very, very effectively. So manage your timelines properly. Do the correct job during the correct time. When it comes to managing time effectively, one can't forget the influence that Stephen Covey has had. His book, First Things First, has given enough about time management. The time management matrix that I have learnt from him, and it is very popular, is it has 4 quadrants that classify all our tasks between urgent, important, and less important, basically prioritization. Let us consider each quadrant one by one. The first quadrant is the most important. It is both urgent and important tasks that we need to complete on a day-to-day basis. The urgent and important tasks are those of crisis nature or extreme importance that needs very crucial and immediate attention. Let's take, for instance, a person has suddenly fainted in the room. Our topmost priority or the most urgent and important task that we need to do is give first aid. Suppose there is a very important decision to be taken in a corporate with respect to a client's call, a very important client, a very important decision. An impromptu meeting to summon the power circle, the very important people, and take a decision is again a task of urgency and importance, which has earlier not been planned. All the jobs that we need to do in a top priority list which belongs to the urgent and important category are some things or certain tasks which we can never postpone. So we must understand the first and foremost and the most important task or the tasks that we need to do are the crisis tasks, the important tasks, the vital tasks which belong to the urgent and important matrix. Do it right now. The first quadrant is just do it right now. The second quadrant is also important, but it need not be urgent. So, the second order concern will belong to the category. So, planning for meetings which have to happen next week or maybe even tomorrow, a couple of days later, an electric bill that has to be paid. Suppose we are on 12th today and 15th is the last date. On 15th, when you end up paying, it becomes your urgent and important matrix first quadrant task. But when we plan to pay it a little early, then it is important but not urgent. So if you plan and pay it by 12th, 11th, 10th, then you have planned for this earlier and prioritized, but it doesn't pressurize you because you have not postponed it. Any act of postponement will give you stress. So you need to prioritize. Important but not so urgent tasks are the ones that you can save for doing later, but replying for that particular mail or accepting to come for an afternoon meeting, all those things definitely have a varied objective. Replying for a mail and telling that you will be there as an intra-mail in today's meeting is urgent. Replying for a regular mail can be postponed later. But replying for mails are important. If you are planning to attend the meeting today, it will fall into the category of replying immediately, do it right now category. It is just replying to a mail of somebody, some supplier, some vendor or some friend, then that can be postponed to the next order of concern. So, important but not urgent are the less priority tasks. Definitely, the next category is urgent but not important. Urgent but not important are the regular tasks, the routine tasks, which definitely are important that you need to do, but might not fall into the category of urgency. So, you should know to prioritize your tasks. Then the last quadrant is least important, not at all important, not important, not urgent. Can you think of examples of these? Talking endlessly to a friend, chatting continuously in the net, or maybe being on one of the social networking sites without even knowing what is the time. So doing things which are of least importance, wherein all the important tasks are neglected because you are wasting time talking to a friend, hanging out with friends, going for a movie when you have an assignment to submit. So, you are not prioritizing your tasks. This will only lead to ineffective time management. And not important, not urgent is the quadrant which you can forget about or minimize it so that it doesn't affect the other quadrant. Where you feel things are important but not urgent, you can even delegate. When you are multitasking, an effective tool for time management is you can delegate it to somebody. But the person must be a responsible person who has the skill sets, and you should also monitor and see that that task is completed if you delegate it. So delegation is an effective tool of time management, but you must monitor and control the activity so that the task is completed. So prioritizing is the key to successful time management. Divide the tasks into urgent and important, important, not urgent, urgent, less important, not urgent. So let me repeat. Do it right now is the urgent and important. Important but not urgent, you can decide when to do it. Urgent but not important, you can delegate it. Not important, not urgent, you can even afford to dump it. So prioritize your work according to the importance. If you delegate, monitor and control, manage time effectively using this matrix.